We are being told that we must keep our opinions to ourselves. We can't be respectful. We must mourn properly. We must give honor to a man who reviled so many of us. And if not, what? Well, there will be consequences. There already have been consequences. People are getting fired for expressing their own opinions on social media, their private social media accounts. People are getting fired for quoting directly the person whose work they're trying to put into its proper context. People are being threatened by elected members of Congress. People are being threatened with potential investigations. And for what exactly? For exercising our First Amendment rights, free expression, for our taking advantage of the liberties granted to us by the United States Constitution to express our opinions, no matter how, what's the word I'm looking for? Unpleasant. We're being told all of these things by a group of people who have no respect themselves, who are cruel, who are completely uninterested in the rights of people who differ from them, who revel in other people's misfortune, who cheer it on, in fact, who are gleeful when their perceived political enemies are hurt, no matter how grievously. Again, by people who have no sense of honor, who have no sense of right or wrong, who are amoral or immoral, who have indeed no sense of basic human decency. I said back in 2021 that I was horrified by the prospect that America was going to become some version of my family. But here's the thing. The so-called values my grandfather espoused, cruelty, greed, avarice, the delight he took in humiliating other people, he didn't pretend that those were bad, that those were good things. He just valued them because they served him well. One thing you can say about my grandfather, sociopath that he was not a hypocrite. He knew that he didn't play it straight, but he didn't care. He was not going to judge other people as long as he didn't get judged. And now we're living in a country that has the so-called values of my family with an extra helping of hypocrisy. And in the last few days, I have to be honest with you, I found it quite unbearable, especially given the fact that the person leading the charge against anybody who dare criticize Charlie Kirk or, again, simply try, for the sake of understanding what's happening to us, to put his work, his words into context, is one of the most vile offenders on the planet. And yet he pretends that they are investigating, threatening, firing people because they care so much about honor. And it is, quite frankly, sickening. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mary Trump Live. It is wonderful to have you here. It's been another day. So the incompetent and woefully unqualified FBI Director Kash Patel appeared before the Senate Judiciary Committee today in an oversight hearing. He faced mounting criticism over his role in the FBI's investigation of Charlie Kirk's murder last week. I'd say I don't think criticism is an accurate word. Patel was grilled, absolutely grilled by Democratic senators, and he was embarrassed time and time again as his inability to answer questions was made it obvious just how incompetent and out of his depth he is. A major clash occurred between Senator Cory Booker, Democrat of New Jersey, and Patel. Booker was very clear in his opinion of the FBI head. There's no way he's going to remain head of the agency for long. Take a look.
Here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this. I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do you want to say anything?
Yes, sir. That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about
dividing this country,
it is
I follow
time.
you on your social media posts that
It is
tear
my
this country
time
apart.
to address your falsehoods.
Oh,
You are an
you can try
embarrassment
all
to the
you
division
want
in this country.
to not
Senator,
take
it is
responsibility
my time.
for what
You
you
had
have
your
said.
time.
Sir, you're
Your
making a
time is
mockery of this
over.
committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over.
You
The
know how
people
far
of New
we've
Jersey
come
tell me
since
what my
you
time
tell-
is.
Senator,
You can't lecture me.
You can tell me
Sir,
my time's over?
You may be the charge of the
I'm not
FBI,
going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you, sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
Imagine being afraid of Kash Patel. I mean, that's kind of like being afraid of Donald, for God's sakes. Clearly, this is the play. Over and over and over again, pretend that they are on the right side of every issue and that it is the Democrats who are dividing this country. It is the Democrats who are engaging in violent political rhetoric and going after their perceived political opponents. No. It's people like Kash Patel, and Cory Booker knows that. So then we got some questions about the Epstein files. And when it came to those, Patel was just as indignant, getting into yet another shouting match, this time with Democratic Senator from California, Adam Schiff. Take a look.
Move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're not in
inmates.
the weeds?
What I am doing is
most-
protecting
the
this country,
most- the
providing
most
historic
significant
reform,
witness-
and
the most
combating the
significant witness,
weaponization of
the
intelligence
Epstein
by the
files
likes of you.
cover-up
And we have
gets
countlessly proven you to
from
be a
your
liar in
administration,
Russiagate, in
and you
January
call that
6th.
being
You are
in
the
the
biggest
weeds?
fraud to ever sit in the
This
United States
stinks to
Senate.
high
You are a
heaven.
disgrace to this
This stinks to high
institution
heaven.
and an utter coward.
And I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised
not
that you continue to lie
surprised
from
that
your
the-
perch and put on a show
view
so you can go
of
raise
you
money for your
and for good
charade.
reason.
You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take
and
it
make-
to
you
the
can
bank
take an
that the
internet-
FBI is
you
protecting
can
this
make an
country
internet troll.
and the state and
The
citizens
FBI
of the
director
California.
will
We
always
are
be
bringing
nothing more
historic
than an
reform.
internet point of-
Having fun yet? That's it. That is the United States government in a nutshell. The entirety of the federal government is in service to protecting Donald Trump from his potential criminality, from his corruption, and probably most importantly to him, from his desperately fragile little ego. No, we don't need to answer questions. We just need to scream at the top of our lungs and lie, and lie so that some people, those people who are still listening will start to believe those lies. Historic reform at the FBI. Well, I can't disagree with him. He is engaging in the reform of destroying the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Yes, just as every single other agency head is doing, from Robert Kennedy to Linda McMahon to Tulsi Gabbard to Pete fucking Hegseth. That's it. That is the government. A bunch of incompetent idiots with no qualifications, no sense of duty or honor or patriotism, tearing it all down because that's what Donald Trump wants them to do. And why does Donald Trump want them to do that? Because division serves his purpose. Division redounds to his benefit. And I am so heartily tired of all of it. Finally, Patel got a bit of a break, so maybe we will too. I mean, not a break from the lying and the grotesque pretense that Patel cares about anything, but from the shouting at least, because he got to answer some questions from one of his allies, some of the other MAGA loyalists, Senator Foghorn Leghorn, my apologies, Senator John Kennedy, Republican of Louisiana, decided to ask Patel about Epstein's sex trafficking. And just, to be clear, in a way, perhaps Kennedy was not, sex trafficking of girls and young women. You're going to take a look at this and see what Patel's answer was.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
No. And this is the conundrum in which we find ourselves. We cannot believe a word that comes out of the mouth of somebody like Kash Patel or Senator John Kennedy or Robert Kennedy, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, or Tulsi Gabbard or Donald Trump or Stephen Miller. All they do is lie in order to create the false narrative that serves their purposes. Meanwhile, they accuse us of lying constantly. So how do we exist in a world in which truth, facts even, are subjective? It seems to be completely irrelevant to Kash Patel and John Kennedy that Jeffrey Epstein's victims are compiling their own list of men who were implicated or could be implicated in Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's crimes. Maybe that's why Republicans are suddenly acting like Epstein acted alone all along. What does that suggest to you? To me, it's just more evidence that where there's smoke, there's fire. And we already knew that because of the way Donald has been acting so guilty ever since the Epstein files became an issue earlier this year. Here's the latest on the other legal case everyone seems to be talking about. This afternoon, the suspect in Charlie Kirk's murder, Tyler Robinson, well, I shouldn't say murder, sorry, killing. We don't know yet if it was murder. That is for a jury and a judge to decide. Tyler Robinson made his first appearance in court. Take a look at a clip from his remote hearing.
Could you state your name?
Tyler James Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Robinson. It was nice to see you. I'm not entirely sure where that got cut off. And I was hydrating, but I'm going to continue because earlier today, the Utah County Attorney read off the charges being brought against Robinson in this case. So let's take a look at these.
Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide.
Let's see. Robinson targeted Charlie Kirk because of his political beliefs. Huh. That sounds like something that's happening a lot these days, doesn't it? So why is it wrong when Tyler Robinson does it, but completely acceptable when Donald and the rest of the fascists in the Republican Party do it? I wonder if anybody was ever going to ask them that question. I suggest somebody do it immediately. Earlier today, sorry, I want to look in on something else that has been going on. In fact, it's been happening every day, but we keep losing track of it because there's so much else going on. But this is the issue that Americans claim to care about more than any other issue, and that's the economy. So I want to check in on some of the latest damage that Donald has been doing to that economy. Reuters reports that this week, the value of the US dollar slipped to a 4-year low against the euro. Having recently been in Europe, I can tell you that it's much more expensive to be there now than it used to be. Many investors are staying on the sidelines ahead of the Federal Reserve's upcoming policy meeting, where an interest rate cut is expected. Traders expect the Fed to cut interest rates by 0.25%, although Donald has added pressure to the proceedings by calling for a bigger cut. Because bigger is always better if you don't know anything about economic policy or economics for that matter. So he wants the Fed to cut rates more extensively in order to help him cover over the mess he made by enacting senseless and dangerous economic policies. Sounds like him. The bigger picture, of course, is that since Donald's return to office, the dollar has been having a bear year, which is to say it's not doing well. That's an expression, meaning its value is in decline. So I know that if Robert Kennedy hears that, he's probably all excited because he thinks it might mean there's another dead bear for him to go get in Central Park. But no, it just means that we're doing badly. And we're doing badly again because of one person, at least in the context of the economy. In the context of health and safety, we're doing badly because of the aforementioned Robert Kennedy, who thinks it's perfectly reasonable to do things like pick up dead bear carcasses and try to make a meal out of them. Okay, so we have Donald destroying the value of the American economy. And then we have Donald destroying our values, as if he knows anything about what those are. This is not solely Donald's agenda. It has been a long-standing agenda on the right to rewrite, which is to say whitewash our history. They have indeed been engaged in revisionist history for decades now. But Donald is at the leading edge of this now because he's the one with the power to change the way we talk about and represent our history. We see that he has been taking a hatchet to cultural institutions like the Smithsonian Museums and the Kennedy Center. A new report now tells us that Donald has ordered the National Park Service to remove dozens of exhibits about slavery at several national parks, including this historic photo of a slave scarred back. This is a photo that is crucial to our ability to understand our history, to understand what white people did to Black people. And this photograph continues to teach generations the truth about the horrors that were inflicted during slavery, yes, but also during the 100 years of Jim Crow. All of the exhibits, including that photograph, that are going to be removed were deemed to violate Donald's executive order on, quote, restoring truth and sanity to American history, unquote. He signed that order back in March. And it was instruction to the Interior Department to purge national monuments and historic sites of any content that, quote, inappropriately disparage Americans past or living, unquote. Is this all beginning to sound familiar? Is this all beginning to sound of a piece? Are we hearing the patterns repeating themselves? The truth they are telling us is bad because it interferes with our agenda. It makes us look bad. It forces us to grapple with difficult truths we do not want to grapple with. In fact, we want to turn our backs on them. Why? Because dealing with them face on means making admissions they are not comfortable making. It means, for example, admitting that as white people, which almost all Republicans are, they continue to benefit from a system that enslaved other human beings. They continue to benefit from the white privilege that was a direct result of enslaving, torturing, and in many cases, murdering and raping other human beings. So instead of grappling with those hard truths and making this country a better place for all of us, they want to erase all of it so they can continue to benefit from the horrors of our two original sins, the genocide of the Native American population and the kidnapping and enslavement over 8 generations of Black Americans. Creating false history is crucial to the project of becoming a dictator, of changing this country dramatically from a weak but somehow functioning democracy to a full-on fascist dictatorship. They have their manifesto. They have that fascist playbook, Project 2025, and the Trump regime is systematically checking off all those boxes. This seems to have escalated dramatically in the last week in the wake of the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. I hope we're prepared for how much more quickly this is all going to start to unfold. Anybody need to inhale? Anybody need to exhale? Whew. Yeah. Luckily, I think it's Tuesday. It's time for our emotional support moment. So for today's ESM, we're going to the deep waters off the California coast. And because Donald doesn't know this, that's the Pacific Ocean. It's large. Anyway, there, scientists have found a tiny new species. It's called the bumpy snailfish, which I think is adorable. It's barely the size of a human being's thumb. It's both a marvel of science and, again, like kind of adorable. So the bumpy snailfish reminds us that even under the harshest conditions and in the darkest depths of the sea, life can still find a way to flourish. And if the bumpy snailfish can find a way to flourish in the darkest depths of the sea, then we we must also find a way to flourish in the darkest depths of this fascist regime. So let's watch this report from CBS 8 in San Diego.
Meet Chiropractus caliculi, better known as the bumpy snailfish. With its pinkish glow, big blue eyes, and jelly bean-like wobble, it's the newest deep-sea darling to capture the internet's heart.
Many deep-sea organisms like this one are very beautiful, very relatable, our deep-sea neighbors.
Deep-sea biologist Mackenzie Geringer says the bumpy snailfish was discovered in Monterey Canyon off the central coast of California at nearly 12,000 feet beneath the surface.
These snailfishes are very well adapted to the high pressure, cold temperature, low light environment of that habitat, and they're thriving in an environment that we might think of as harsh, but to them is just home. Often when we're exploring these deep sea habitats, we see things that no one has ever seen before. Species discovery is a slow process, and as the pieces of evidence came together, it was very clear that these were unknown to science, new species.
About 2 to 3 inches long, the bumpy snailfish doesn't just look cute, it's built for survival, with specialized proteins for high-pressure life, and even a second set of jaws in its throat for eating crustaceans.
Something so fragile and, in my opinion, so beautiful lives in an environment that we think of as very harsh. So I think this is an important reminder to be open-minded about different habitats on Earth and to really appreciate the deep oceans, which are the largest habitat on our planet.
That's so cool. That's like, seriously, 2 inches. It's like 2 of Donald's thumbs. And I can say that because I have quite small hands. It's genetic. Anyway, it's not a diss. It's just a biological fact. All right, let's get to your questions, comments, and what have you. Mary, awesome. She's a member for 4 months. Comment. How about that? How about that indeed? Cindy, a super sticker. Thank you as always, Cindy. Awesome. Melissa is a new member. That's fantastic. We are very happy to have you here. Thank you. Tia Mia, thank you very much, as always. Comment. Cheers to the Brits. In your face, welcome to... Do we have to call him that? Let's just call him Donald. Yeah, there is a massive... I mean, they know their stuff over there. They know how to get under thin-skinned people's skin. There's a massive flag awaiting Donald. It's a picture of him with his former best friend of many, many years, Jeffrey Epstein. Heather, thank you so much for becoming a new member. That's great. Robin, thank you for becoming a new member. Welcome. Pood is a member for 4 months. That's fantastic. Comment. Absolutely love this group. No kidding. You guys are awesome. Dorothy, thank you very, very much. Oh, wow. Comment. Happy 83rd birthday to Mifi. Happy birthday. Good for you. That's phenomenal. Many, many more. Midas Cheryl gifted 1 Mary Trump Media membership. Thank you, as always. Do we have a Midas Cheryl 2 for on hand? Yes, indeed, we do. Thank you, Midas Cheryl. That's fantastic. Comment. If you haven't seen Mary's short about the role of mashed potatoes in the Trump family, you must watch it. Thank you, Mary. Mashed potato sales increasing. Well, I'd like to do what I can for the economy, if nothing else than to balance the horrors of what Donald's doing to the economy. So, yeah, please check out that video. It is like, honestly, it's not just my favorite Trump family story. It's like the only kind of good one. Because, they were all horrible people. Like to a person. It's stunning. Poot. Thank you very, very much. Again, comment. Wonderful and supportive community. You make me happy and smiling. Thank you, Mary and Mary Trump team. You are welcome. And yeah, again, awesome community. Kendra, thank you as always for being a super sticker and for that. Excellent. Lou, thank you very much. Very kind of you. Much appreciated. Jules plays taps for vets. Julie's comment is go Corey. Yeah. Well done, Senator Booker. Well done. Gene, how many lies does Cash say a minute? Not as many as Donald, but he's trying. The little guy is trying. Janice, thank you very much. Comment, he has no worst. I say there is no low too low. Yeah. Yeah, and I think expecting otherwise is just going to get us in all sorts of trouble. Just always know that they will get worse. There's nothing too low. There's no bottom. There's no worst. Mary, thank you as always. That's very kind of you. Comment, enjoying popcorn with a popcorn emoji and 3 cat emojis. Fantastic. Donna, thank you so very much as always. Comment, it is the Confederacy Confederacy of 3 dunces or the dunces. Either way, they're dunces. And there's a confederacy of them, for sure. I must hydrate. Thank you. At least I'm not doing it during a clip. I mean, that's what the clips are for, so I can hydrate. It's not really what they're for, but it helps. It's helpful in the hydration. Hazy Trip of Daisies, thank you so much for that comment. Thank you, Mary, for your perseverance and keeping us informed. You are appreciated. Well, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Susan, as always, thank you so much for gifting 5 Mary Trump Media memberships. That's really wonderful. Dennis, comment, Kash Patel couldn't protect a picnic for months. No, he could not. Although, to be fair, who among us can? Let's see. Let's try some other things. Kash Patel couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag. Kash Patel, he's an idiot. And he's unqualified and horrible. He's a horrible, horrible human being. Jimmy is in the house. Awesome. It's great to see you here, Jimmy. And thank you so much for that. Question, Mary, have you seen or read Whitney Webb's 2-volume publication titled One Nation Under Blackmail, What Led to the Jeffrey Epstein Case? A must read. I have not, but I'm going to check it out now. That's for sure. And thank you again, Jimmy. Very glad you're here. Anita, super sticker. Thank you so much, Anita. That's very kind of you. Wizard of Frobaz, thank you so much for that. That's great. Comment, thank you, Mary, for pointing out to me that paraphrasing doesn't belong in quotation marks. This was several days ago. You might not recall, but thanks. I do not recall, but yes. Paraphrasing is not direct quoting. So, yeah. As long as you're attributing it to the source, because otherwise, whether it's paraphrasing or direct quoting, not citing the source is plagiarism. But as long as you're clear about where it's coming from, yep. I'm glad you found that helpful. In the middle of nowhere, thank you for gifting 1 Mary Trump Media membership. That's great. Lizzie Beth, thank you as always. Question, got any thoughts about the suspected shooter's family of origin? Sounds sad. I don't know much. I have to be honest with you. I haven't been paying much attention to that because I think in the grand scheme of things, the motive of the shooter and his or her origin story is not, I don't want to say it isn't relevant. Of course it's relevant. Like, we need to understand it, but that is very specifically about the individual and the psychological history, the family history, and the crime. That tells us nothing about why we're in the mess we're in. I'm not saying it's not interesting and important in its own right. It is, but I've been focused on other things. I will certainly get to know more about them, though, because we do need to understand in the grand scheme of things why these things happen. What about the family? What about what renders such people vulnerable to radicalization, etc.? And obviously, the family is crucial in figuring that stuff out. Lady Diane V, thank you as always. Comment, truth is not subjective. No, it's not. And neither are facts. We don't live in Orwell's 1984 yet. Kay is a member for a month. Thank you so much. And your comment is thank you for all you do. You're welcome. Violet XOXOX is a super sticker. Thank you so much, Violet. Vicky gifted 5 Mary Trump Media memberships. Vicky, that's great and much appreciated. And finally, Dawn is a new member. And Violet XOXOX is a new member. Thank you both and welcome. It is wonderful to have you here. And that does it for us. All right, cool. I have to go to a thing tonight. So just want to thank everybody for watching on YouTube. We did not stream on what's it called? Substack tonight. But if you're watching on Twitter, thank you for that. And thank you if you're listening to the podcast. To all of our new members, everybody gifting new memberships, to all of our super stickers, and everybody giving us donations. Thank you so very much. There are easier ways to support us. Just subscribe to the channel. We really want to get to 500,000. We're almost at 470. Like and share our videos that we drop every day. We don't just have the lives. We have pre-recorded videos dropping at least twice a day. So if you like and share those, comment on them, that really helps us out too. And of course, to our excellent mods who make this a place. You see it in the comments. So many people love being here. And that is in large part because of the extremely careful work our moderators do. And of course, to my team, which kind of like hard to describe this, but it doesn't seem possible, but they get better every day. And that's really saying something. So thanks, guys. It is always a pleasure. And yep, we are just going to keep going. So thank you all. I will be back tomorrow night for Mary Trump Live at 6 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to check out our videos during the day. One drops at 4, one drops at 8. If that changes, we'll let you know. But click on that bell icon to be alerted. And don't forget to check all. If you check all, you'll be alerted when any videos drop. If you don't check it, then YouTube's going to decide what you want to watch. And I don't think that's fair or right. So that does it for us. I will see you tomorrow night. In the meantime, everybody, please stay safe and be kind.